Mel Albin. I'm the host and the founder of the Jazz Confusion
My
Power
name
Hour.
is Dion Parson, and I'm honored to share my passion of music with you, our listening audience, through my cultural heritage.
Things can change for you too. If you want to be brand new, that is absolutely possible.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Jazz Confusion Power Hour. I'm your host, Mel Albin, and I'll tell you a little bit for those who are tuning in for the first time, a little bit about the Power Hour. And for those of you that have been here before, maybe you'll just learn a few more things about the show and it may be of interest to you. The Power Hour features some of the best artists in jazz, soul, and R&B. We're a nonprofit, and our mission is to provide listeners with jazz, soul, and R&B 24/7. And we have many great artists we've had in the Power Hour. We broadcast weekly on the Source TV radio network with live and streaming in 4K and Dolby True HD. Source Radio has over 160,000 affiliates through the BBC. And we broadcast in the United States, in North America, to over 3 million people monthly. So we have a very large, vast audience and a global audience too. I mentioned we're a nonprofit, we're a 501c3. And the station also supports not only jazz and soul and R&B, but also Black micro businesses to help them build scale, to get on the finance industry's radar, and to ultimately increase the generation transfer of wealth within minority communities. So jazz and small micro businesses are the mission of the Source TV radio network. Because we're a 501c3, we're a nonprofit, we depend on donations and contributions from our listeners. The special guests we have on our show often contribute because we help promote them worldwide, and we kind of need each other. They need to be promoted, and our station needs to promote them. So we really appreciate any donation you would make to the station. Remember, it's always tax deductible. And you're donating to a good cause because we keep alive jazz. That's what we were created to do. Jazz is the only true American art form in music. And we've had some wonderful guests on the Power Hour. We've had Eric Roberson, Mesa, Brian Culbertson, Paul Brown, Raheem DeVaughn, Reagan Whiteside, Alex Harris, Greg Adams, Tom Brown, Costello, Pieces of a Dream, Kamasi Washington, Keiko Matsui, Sheryl Crow, Reggie Merrickx, Philip Brandon, JC Soul, Billy Ocean, Annie Lennox. I can go on and on. We've had on also Eric Burden, Jeff Beck, and Mavis Swan Poole. So we've had some of the best in jazz, soul, and R&B. Over 125 people have been on the Power Hour on our station. Tonight is no different. Tonight we have another amazing guest. She has performed with some of the most sought-after musicians and artists all over the world, and her versatility has allowed her many unique opportunities to perform. She has toured with the Queen of Percussion, Sheila E, since 2017, and appeared in the Emmy-nominated show Let's Go Crazy. She was in the Grammy Salute to Prince that aired on CBS in 2020. She has also sang background vocals for Sir Elton John at the 2020 Academy Awards. She has appeared as a repeat guest on the Dave Koz Cruises since 2016. And she was a featured artist on Dave Koz and Friends Christmas tour for 4 successive years. She opened for Will Downing, Boney James, and Jeffrey Osborne in 2019. She opened for Musique Soul Child, pardon me, on 2 separate occasions, and she released an LP, A Shade of Jade, in 2022. She had 3 Billboard charting singles from that release. She performed at the Java Jazz Festival in Indonesia and the Algarve Smooth Jazz Festival in Portugal, both in 2024. So please welcome tonight's special guest, the one and only Rebecca Jade.
Hi, Mel. Thank you for having me.
Hi, Rebecca. It's a pleasure. I'm glad we finally were able to get together. We've planned this for a while now.
Yes, we have. Thank you so much.
I'm
And
glad you. Go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say I have a light on, but hopefully it'll stay charged for the whole entire thing. So if it's out, I apologize in advance.
All right. I like to start out each show with one question I always ask: what's cooking? What's doing with you? What new releases you have coming out? Any upcoming concerts?
Yeah.
What's doing for 2025? What's going on?
Yes. Okay. So I have a pretty busy tail end of the year. I'm really excited about it. Starting in actually next week, no, 2 weeks from now, I'll be heading out to Rome with Dave Koz for his inaugural Soma cruise. And so that's out of Rome. And then we'll spend some time out there, which I'm really excited about. So like 5 or 6 different stops. And then that's September. And then October, I have a few things coming up. I'm doing the Florida, oh gosh, I don't want to say it wrong. Florida Smooth Jazz Weekend out in Daytona. That's the Florida, yeah. That's the end of October and beginning of November. Sorry, I'm looking at my schedule to be sure I say it right. I'm doing the Arizona Jazz Festival in October, as well as the at Tuolumne. There's a really cool place up in Tuolumne, which is like in the mountains of near Yosemite. They put on a summer concert series. So I'll be there on October 26th, which is actually my birthday. So it'd be great if people came to celebrate with me on my birthday. And then the tail end of the year, doing Dave Koz's Christmas tour once again. So I'm very excited.
Great. And what about 2025? You have anything planned for 2025 already?
A couple things. I'm doing Brian Culbertson's New Orleans Jazz Getaway. That's in, I want to say February, or I don't want to say it wrong, in March, in the middle of March. So I'll be out for that, and a couple other things a little later on, as well as Dave's 2025 Dave Koz and Friends. We go to Iceland and Norway, and
oh wow,
yeah. So I'm excited to be. That'll be next summer.
So you're going from the swamps of New Orleans to the ice of Norway.
Exactly. And then also, I forgot to mention the tail end of this year, I'm putting on my first holiday show in San Diego, which is where I live. And in San Diego, it's called Rebecca Jade and Friends, A Soulful Holiday. I'm doing that on December 28th. And then while I'm still here in San Diego, I'm also doing Mindy Abear's New Year's Eve, which is also here in San Diego. So I'm grateful.
So where's your Christmas show located?
It's going to be at Sequan Casino, which is right here in town. It's at a really nice casino and resort. They have a beautiful showroom there called Live and Up Close. And so I'll be there with 4 of my amazing, talented friends that are San Diego artists and an incredible band. So I'm really excited about that. It'll be my first production that I'm putting on.
Wonderful. Sounds like you have a busy schedule.
Yeah, I'm grateful. Thank you.
What I'd like to talk about for to kick off the show kind of is to let people understand a little bit about your background.
Mm-hmm.
I've read that you come from a musical family, that your mom was a vocalist. So
Yes.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about first of all, where you were raised, what kind of music was in your household, and how it influenced your decision ultimately to become a full-time artist.
Absolutely. So my mom is a singer. I definitely give her a shout out. She was very instrumental at the early stages of my life, exposing me to different kinds of music, from classical to rock to soul to gospel, all the classics. We had a lot of music, to Latin music. We had a lot of different styles of music playing in our household when I was growing up. And she loves music, and she actually is a singer and used to travel around a little bit herself doing music. And she just wanted to expose it to me. There never was a, what do you call it? She was never a stage mom. She just wanted to share her love of music with me. And then that way, whether I did anything with it or not, I mean, there's plenty of people who don't do music, but they're music appreciators, right? And so she's like, at the end of the day, if you ended up just loving music like I love music, that's all I wanted. All she wanted to expose to me. So I ended up kind of taking it and running with it, and she continues to be so proud of me and so supportive of everything I do. And I also got to give a shout out to my dad. Even though he's not a singer professionally or anything like that, he can hold a note, and he actually used to play saxophone, and it also is multi-generational. So my mother, her father used to sing, and when my mom was growing up, her and her brother and her dad, my uncle and my grandfather, they used to sing together. They were the Green family trio. And then on my dad's side, my grandmother, his mother used to play piano and accordion. And so I definitely get it very, very much from both sides of the family.
Wow. No pressure to become an artist, was there?
No, none at all. No, there really, really wasn't.
It sounds like it's genetic.
It's totally, they just were exposing me to it. My mom said, you could become a pharmacist if you want to. I really didn't care. I just wanted you to know how much I love music. And so that's, so I so appreciate that. I mean, we would spend time, anytime we're driving somewhere, we would sing together, and she really helped me to learn how to like harmonize. And for people that don't know, I mean, that's a really important skill that I'm really glad that she instilled in me at a very early age, because there's plenty of singers who can sing, great, incredible singers that sing lead, but when it comes to singing as a group, it's a little bit of a lost art, unless you kind of grow up in church or grew up just singing and singing in groups or something like that. So I'm very grateful. Yeah, I'm very grateful to her to instill that in me.
Well, you were raised where?
So I was born in New York City. My parents are both from New York. When I was 3, we moved to Puerto Rico, of all places. And I don't know why. We're not Puerto Rican at all. My mom's Black, my dad's white, but we moved to Puerto Rico. We lived there for about 5 years, I think, and then my parents got divorced. My dad remarried, and he joined the Coast Guard, and that's what brought us to California. He's got his orders to go to California. So when we went to California, my mom actually stayed in Puerto Rico for a short while, for just about a year. She thought I was fine, and I was, being with my dad and my stepmom. But one day she just had a realization. She's like, I'm 3,000 miles away from my only child. So she packed up everything, and once we were in Northern California for 1 year. And when we moved to San Diego, my mom moved to San Diego and joined us there.
Wow.
And I've been here ever since.
So how old were you when you got to San Diego?
I was 8, about 8 and a half.
So, I want to try this a few different ways. First of all, you've been in San Diego since you've been 8.
Yeah.
How did San Diego, did it have any impact on your musical development?
Not early on, because, well, I take that back. I didn't realize, I think, you don't know what you don't know, right? You're just kind of growing up and being a kid. And I definitely would say it did in some ways. I was also very much an athlete. So I led I like to say, a dichotomous life. And my parents were very supportive in whatever I wanted to do. So I didn't know if I was going to do music. I was very much doing a variety of things in music. So I was singing in my church choir. I was singing in my school choir. I was in the plays at school and at a youth theater program. At the same time, I'm on the swim team. I was the only girl in playing baseball. I was, I rode horses. I had such a lot that I did as a kid, because I just, my parents were just supportive of that. They wanted me to have the chance to explore different things and try what I did like and didn't like. I did dance too. I did, I think, jazz dance at one point, and that didn't last for very long. I tried cheerleading once and hated that. And because I wanted to be the one playing sports, but the fact that they just supported all those endeavors, really, I think, contributed to who I am today. And
You're right across the bay from San Francisco. Did San Francisco have any impact on you?
Well, San Francisco only, I was sort of, but not really in the sense, because I wasn't looking at it from the lens of a singer. At that time, I was really a full-time student athlete. I was there on a full basketball scholarship, and I was studying theater. And I just, honestly, if I'm going to be honest, I didn't think that I could do a career in music because it seemed so grandiose. It seemed like, in my eyes, you had to be like Whitney Houston. You had to be like a mega star, and I didn't know how to do that. I just knew how to, sing, and I was kind of slowly meeting people. And but in the Bay Area, my lens wasn't set to look for that. It wasn't until after I came home from college that I was considering doing music because of my mentor.
When you were growing up in your house, what were some of the early musical influences?
Okay, so one of my favorite movies is actually Amadeus. And I just love like Mozart from that, from that movie specifically. So like I would say some of the classical music, but I would also say my mom was we listened to like a lot of like Latin music, especially I think maybe because we lived in Puerto Rico, but it might also not have been. I think we would have we probably would have listened to Latin music either way. But
I always thought about Amadeus. I think it was after he did Don Giovanni. Salieri, he asked Salieri, his mentor, what he thought, and he said, too many notes.
Right.
and Mozart's response was, well, which one should I take out?
Right. So good. I need to watch that again. It's been a while.
I love that. I love that movie too.
I love it so much. I mean, the whole, just everything is just so complex, and it's very moving. But we also listen to Patti LaBelle a lot. We listen to Barbara Streisand, and we listen to Michael McDonald and Doobie Brothers, all the way to Stevie Wonder, and then as I got older, and lots of jazz like Nat King Cole and Ella Fitzgerald. I mean, I'm listing off like literally like all the classics, but they're just so great, and really helped shape me so much. I think early on I was really drawn to like jazz, specifically like Billie Holiday was a big influence for me, and just something about the depth of her voice. It was beyond my comprehension, but I just knew there was something about it, and I couldn't at the age probably tell you what it was. But as I got older, I was starting to develop, like, understand, like, wow, there's some depth to this woman's voice that's incredible.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, did you ever pick up an instrument to play?
So, my parents, they really, really tried to get me to play piano. So I took 3 years of lessons from like 9 to 11-ish, 9, 10, 11, 12-ish, and apparently I fought it all the time. I remember just like, it was like pulling teeth, I fought it. And finally, after 3 years, they were like, okay, we're not going to, force you to do it. Now, of course, in hindsight, I wish I would have stayed with it. But I would say as I got older, in the last about 4 or 5 years, I've picked up the bass. So it's been kind of fun to play the bass while I'm, and it kind of was more of like an epiphany. Before I started touring, which was my goal, was to tour a lot more. Before I started doing that, I used to do a lot of local gigs in town here in San Diego, and it'd be me and a piano player or me and a guitar player, and it'd be just really this acoustic-y vibe in a restaurant. And I just had this epiphany one day. I said, gosh, while the musician is soloing, I'm kind of looking at my iPad for the next song, and I was like, oh man, I should have this bass that I've been wanting to play. I should just bring it to these gigs. It's low pressure and a good way to just kind of, you just start with one song, and so I started doing that. I used my gigs as a chance to get real life experience. So now I
play the upright bass, or do you play
no electric, okay. Yeah. And I'm definitely I just do it for fun, but I think even at the level that I'm at, which I feel is still very beginnerish, it's helped me to have an extra appreciation. I already appreciate musicians so much, but I have an extra appreciation for the art and the craft as a musician, for what they do. I mean, musicians are the silent heroes, in my opinion, of when it comes to like a performance. They really support us vocally, and good musicians are a blessing. I will say that.
One of the great unsung heroes of music is the studio engineer.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Or even live shows too. Live show engineer, because they
Sure.
can screw up your show if they wanted
right.
to.
But they having a really talented engineer, both live and in the studio, is priceless.
Absolutely, I wholeheartedly concur with that.
Yeah. And then finding a person who can mix and master. After you've done the raw.
Yep, I've been through that with my solo record. It was the first time I had worked with anybody, and that was an experience, and it really can make a difference who you get for your sound.
Sure.
Absolutely.
The difference is, do they get you?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the big difference, because it's not their song, it's your song.
That's right.
People don't realize all the art that goes into producing a song, how many people are involved in that process that you don't see. A lot of people think, well, you just go in the studio and you just sing.
Yeah, right.
doesn't work that way.
So many layers. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Post-production could be more arduous than even recording.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Because at least you have an idea, once you're, in the studio, the band, that you kind of work that out. But now it's after. It's like getting all the little intricacies, and did they record everything properly, and all this. There's so many layers. You're absolutely
and that's another thing this is something I didn't plan to ask you, but I'm just curious.
Yeah.
There's so many different styles of how you approach a song when you're going to record in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
I know, some songwriters who work with artists, they don't want you to rehearse before you get to the studio. They want to feed you one line at a time, have you sing it, re-sing it again, and they do it line by line, feeding the artist. And then they just put it all together. And then other times they want you fully rehearsed. They don't want to have to do a thing. They want you to just come in and sing. So,
right.
When you go to the studio, what's your process?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit more of the former, because I like to. It's kind of tough to do for me, anyway. There are some incredibly talented singers who probably can knock it out in a couple takes, but I'm very meticulous about my notes and stuff, and so I'd rather give a performance for that, that verse, and then do that verse like probably 3 or 4 times, and then just really get comfortable in it, and then once I feel like it's a good take, then I'll move to the next section, and then do that section for a good 3, 4, 5, as many times as it takes to do it.
Given all that, when do you know that it's over? When do you know you got it? You got it.
That's a good question. A lot of times that is the hardest thing, is to walk away, because I always feel like I could do better. So it's a way, it's actually, you have to walk away and say, this is not going to be perfect. So just walk away from it, but feel like I did, I think, pretty close to where I am okay with it being shared with the public. I've done a take that I think I can walk away with and be okay, be at peace. That's where you walk away, I think, because there's no way. I feel like we could always, but then you're just, at what point is it now counterproductive that you're trying to be perfect?
That's the problem. That's the problem. At what point is it not yet there, and at what point have you passed that it's there?
Yeah.
When I had Brian Culbertson on, we were talking about this. And, Brian's told me that, because he's a multi-instrumentalist, and he told me that after he records a song, 3, 4, 5 days later, he'll be listening to it and he'll say, damn, I need a horn, and he'll go back and he'll have a horn track, like Bruce, Bruce Springsteen, for example, he's a maniac. He's known to take a song and spend 1 year on one song. He will
Wow.
not let go
That
until
is
he
amazing.
feels, yeah, but it works.
Yeah. And if you're Bruce Springsteen, you have the resources where you can do that too,
Yeah, yeah,
with
that's a
folks
fact.
like myself, we don't have quite those resources yet. So
Yeah.
we're kind of at the mercy of our budget as well as our time and the timeline and all that stuff, So
You
yeah.
you went to Berkeley and you got your degree in theater performance,
Yeah.
and then you
And that's
got an MBA in marketing,
yeah, I
but
did. Yeah,
no
and that's
music, but no music.
Yeah, not at the time. Yeah, I got and that's Berkeley in California, not School of Music, UC Berkeley. And yeah, I honestly at that point I didn't, like I said before, I didn't think of music as a career at the time. Now in
So what?
hindsight,
Ah,
I should have at least done like a minor or something. I sang in gospel choir there, but I was also a full-time student and I just student athlete, and so like basketball was really my focus. And yeah, but in hindsight, I wish I would have studied like theory a little bit more, or like I did do classical. No, I did classical voice was after I studied voice like 5 years after I got my degree, maybe even longer, because yeah, I got my master's degree after that, and then I went back to community college and studied jazz theory and classical voice. So yeah, it was later.
so you learned to read.
A little bit. I'm a little rusty now. I should be more actively, but I do okay. I do
So
okay.
today, who does your charting and scoring? If you don't read, who does it?
So when I'm doing any of my own project stuff, I have an amazing, amazing, amazing musical director that I get to work with. His name's Carnell Harrell. And we met on the Dave Koz cruise, working together for the first time on there. And we hit it off. And any projects that I do, I ask him to be involved first, and then he always says yes. And for that, I'm so grateful. And he's an amazing producer, amazing composer and arranger, and he writes great charts. And so he's just a full package. And I'm so grateful that we get to tag team on our projects together.
Yeah, this is kind of going where I'm going to take this a little bit later too.
Okay.
And we'll talk about the evolution of the music industry a little bit later. But I just started talking a little bit about songwriting. How do you write a song? Did you write your songs from beginning to end, the lyrics and the music? Do you do that all, or do you have collaborators who help you with lyrics and help you with tone? And tell us a little about the process.
Sure. I kind of, I've tried to brainstorm and collaborate with people. It hasn't typically worked out too much, but I say that with a caveat because on my record, on the previous projects, I actually didn't really write too much of those. It's my most recent album, which is my album's called A Shade of Jade, and I was really adamant about writing this record like myself, because all the other projects I've done, they're incredible projects. I'm so honored to be a part of them, and incredible lyrics, and the vibe and everything is just really, really cool. But I needed to know if I could write. I've never done that really before. I've always write down ideas and write down lyrics and I write down stuff and I, but it was hard for me to kind of put it together. And at that point I hadn't really worked with Carnell. I didn't know him then. And so I would say once he was somebody that said yes, and we were really compatible with the music, I felt more confident in trying stuff, because he's just like, hey, yeah, bring me some ideas. And so I would give him some ideas and then he would put the music. But the ideas were mostly, to answer your question, were mostly like lyrics and a melody. Like typically for 9 of the songs, I would write the lyrics. I might, like one of them, I kind of plucked out a bass line because at this point I'm kind of playing bass a little bit. So I felt confident to kind of like give him an idea of where I felt this was going to go. And he would just run with it. So I tell him all the time, this record would not exist if it wasn't for him, because even though they're my ideas and I was the one pushing the project, like we just worked well. I was trying to do that same thing with some other people, and it just wasn't the right fit at the time. And I feel like those would probably work at another time, but just for where I was at that moment, that was the best situation. So, so anyway, but I say that there was 9 songs, and one of the songs on there, it's actually the song with Eric Darius, is Bottle Up Magic. That song initially wasn't going to be on the record. I had reached out to my friend, and she was, we had worked on something else. And anyway, I reached out to her on a separate occasion about writing some songs for like a cult, what's it called? Writing songs for like to just have a list of songs that maybe submit for what am I trying to say? Submit for like TV and stuff like that. Catalog is the word I was looking for. But yeah, so I was trying to think of like songs to write for like a catalog and stuff like that. So I reached out to my friend and I said, hey, I'd love to, kind of start these things. My album, A Shade of Jade, was almost done. I had one other song I was considering putting on there. So I was kind of like thinking that was pretty much done. And so she goes, yeah, let's write something. And I go, okay, cool. And we write this song and it's amazing. I fell in love with it. We just went back and forth. Like we Zoom called each other and
this is Bottle Up Magic?
Bottle Up Magic, yeah.
We're going to play that in a minute.
Yeah. And so we brainstormed and wrote this song. And then I was like, can I just take this song? I said, really, I kind of need one more song for my album. Is it okay if I take it and put it on my record? And she said, yeah, absolutely. So that's the only song on the record that I collaborated with somebody to write. All the other ones were just me, and the music was by Carnell. And we hired a whole band.
We have a comment from a listener, Ellis White.
Oh, yes.
He's saying, hi, Rebecca. Nice to see that Mel got you on the show. Good stuff.
Oh, thank you. Hi, Ellis. It's awesome.
And you know Ellis?
I do, yeah.
Okay. And here's another Jeanju, who I know, Jeannie.
Oh.
I know her. And she said, she's very beautiful, too.
Thank you very much, Jeannie. I appreciate that. Thank you.
So we have some. There's a bunch more comments I'll be putting up when we start to play. But you've kind of given us the background already on your first song, Bottle It Up. So Bottle Up Magic. So let's play that for everybody, and then we'll come back and talk some more.
Awesome. Thanks.
Okay. Let me put on my
features glasses. Eric Darius on this song too, by the way.
Yes, it features Eric Darius. That's right. I should have mentioned that. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. And here is Bottle Up Magic by Rebecca Jade featuring Eric Darius.
Like a Saturday night on a Monday, carefree, you, me, like a cherry on top of a sundae. Your love so sweet, can't help but tell I'm under your spell. It's captivating. Enchant me with the way you breathe in, breathe out my name. I've never heard it said that way before. It's like a potion. Let's drink it. I'm toasted to you. But if I could bottle up magic, I would save some up for you, just in case you start to panic when the weight of life gets to you. Let's bottle up this magic, a little thing that we call love. We won't hesitate. Let's elevate and make the stars look out. Make the stars I will save some up for you, just in case you start to panic when the weight of the world gets to you. Let's bottle up this magic, a little thing that we call love. We won't hesitate, let's elevate and make the stars look up. Make the stars look up. This magic, a little thing that we call love. We won't hesitate. Let's elevate and make the stars look up. Nearly existential magic, a little thing that we call
That's beautiful, Rebecca. Your voice
Thank
is just,
you.
that's why I wanted to have you on. You have such a classic soul voice. It's
Ah,
just, it's
thank you.
old school, but it's contemporary, you know. And, you know, we're going to talk a little bit about that also, about in a little while, about
Yeah.
differences between what soul was before and what it is now, too. I want to get into that with
Yeah.
you. But here we have a comment from Cole Rasmussen. You have a beautiful melodic voice, classic soul, great song.
Thank you, Cole. I really
And
appreciate that.
then we have another comment from Jeannie, beautiful song.
Thank you, Jeannie. Oh, thank you.
And another comment from Sharon Jones, absolutely beautiful. I want it.
Yay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, see, you're getting quite a number of people that are interested in your music right now.
That- Yeah, people,
Alright.
it's all, you know what we have to do. Like, streaming's all available, but hopefully, I'll be in a town near you where I can perform live, and you can come see the show and get the CD, or you can reach out to me on my website if anybody wants me to mail them a CD. I'm happy to do that.
Well, you know, later on, I want you to tell everybody towards the end of the show how they can get in contact with you, join your social media, you know, and
Okay.
be able to track where you're going so they can come and hear you live, which I'm sure will be an amazing experience
That'd be
for most
awesome.
people.
Thank you.
So let's talk a little bit more about some of your achievements. I'm kind of trying to develop a timeline. Now, in 2011, The Jade Element was your debut album, correct?
Yes, that's right.
But I've noticed it says it's a collaboration. So can you explain that to everybody? a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So at the time, there was a guy that lived here in San Diego. His name is Anthony Molinaro, and he was a local musician in town, and he plays bass, and we used to do some gigs here and there together, and we just hit it off. And he's like, "Hey, I've been wanting to do like," he also produced music. He's like, "I want to produce a record, with you if you're up for that." And at that point, I was really excited because I had 0 albums, I had 0 product, anything that people could buy, and no original music or anything like that. So Anthony, I said yes. Anthony produced all the music himself. So he kind of did a little bit more of like, he made the tracks. And so he was the one-man band, so to speak, that made the music. And then he brought in a lyricist. His name is Alfred Howard. And Al wrote all the lyrics to his tracks. And then I sang. So we were like the collaboration. It was like the 3 of us is what made up the Jade Element. And then when we performed live, we would have a live band and everything like that. But the music was all created like in a box. So I was really, really proud of that record. I mean, some cool gems of songs that are on there. Matter of fact, my agent Gina McCain, she was like, hey, I was listening to your record, Jade Element recently. You should reconsider bringing, such and such song back. I was like, okay. So she kind of confirmed that, because my husband was thinking the same thing, because there's some really cool songs on that record. I just don't really do them because I was really pushing my my solo album, A Shade of Jade. But I'm considering now bringing those songs back, because there are really some cool tunes off that record. I'm really proud of that album.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And by the way, on Bottle Up Magic,
Yeah.
Eric Darius, he complimented you so much.
Yeah, we really enjoy performing together. He's incredible, and I'm just so grateful that I toured with him for a number of years. I still do from time to time, but early on when I was kind of coming into my own, I toured a lot with him. So very, very grateful that he brought me on a lot of his shows.
Yeah, I want to. There's so much to talk about, but we have to get to more of your music too.
Okay.
We'll have to have you back again.
Let's do it. I would love that.
Yeah, definitely. Let me ask you a thought question here.
Okay.
If you could collaborate with any artist, a composer, a songwriter, a musician, a vocalist, from any period of time, from anywhere in the world, who would that be and why?
That is a really good question, and a really hard question, because there's so many incredible artists and, music creators out there from, especially from history. I would say I always have a toss up between Stevie Wonder and Prince. And it's both for the same reasons, though. They're both just extremely creative. Their music is vast, and I really love that about both of them. They're not in a box. You're not going to say, oh yeah, that's Stevie Wonder, he is X. You're not going to go, hey, Prince, oh yeah, he is in this box. You will not do that. You can't do that really for either of those artists. They're both incredibly vast in their styles and genres, and they have no inhibitions. And I love that about the two of them. And, I'm really sad. I was really sad when Prince died.
Oh my God.
Because it seemed surreal. He almost had, his aura was almost life, like infinite. He just almost seemed like he would live forever,
Last night,
okay. Yeah.
Last night I had my other show I do called Hitmakers, and I had Jared Lawson on. I don't know if you know Jared.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
He's a fabulous vocalist.
Fantastic.
And I asked him, this is the one question I ask every artist about who would you collaborate with, and he said Stevie Wonder.
Mm-hmm.
So I got two Stevie Wonders in a row, and you can't do much better. I mean, when you talk about child prodigies, Mozart, Stevie Wonder did Fingertips Part 2 when he was 13 years old.
I mean, insane. Yeah. That he was a little Stevie Wonder. I mean, he was a wonder at that young age. It's incredible.
And then when it comes to Prince, that is probably the most underrated guitarist in the history of the planet.
Yes.
And he played on his first album every instrument.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Like they were just uninhibited. And I just there's so much I respect about that. And then their music reflects that. Like you will hear funk, and then you'll hear like ballads and these, orchestrated pieces. And they never pigeonholed themselves, and I really, really love that. And that's just talking about like the essence of them in a sense. Now you get to the music, and they're insane. Like the music they wrote is.
What's your favorite Stevie Wonder album?
Whole album? Gosh, that's a good question. I don't know. Maybe Intervision, but he has too many great songs, like
Songs in the Key.
Songs in the Key. Yeah, that one's great too. Yep.
That is I think that's one of the great albums ever created.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a double album. So much on it.
Yeah, it's so funny whenever I've done like, sometimes we do shows where it's like some covers and stuff like that. I jokingly have to, I say this jokingly, but I'm actually really serious. I have to like make sure I don't turn it into a Stevie Wonder tribute show because you know what I mean? Because it's so many songs. I'm like, oh, Superstition, oh, Kiss, oh, like, I mean, no, sorry, that's Prince. Superstition and Do I Do and All I Do. Like, you could do a whole set of like Stevie Wonder.
Oh, easily.
And I'd be like, and it'd be fine, but it just like it turns into like a Stevie tribute show, and that's
it's like if you get started on Michael Jackson, the same thing happens.
You're right, absolutely, absolutely.
When do you stop?
Yeah, there's so many great songs. Stevie, Prince, Michael Jackson. I mean, you can like you're set, really.
Really. Before we move on to the next song, we're talking about collaborations now. And somebody that you know has been on my show, Terry Wollman.
Yeah.
And Terry's a just great artist and great person. How do you know Terry?
Gosh, I don't remember. It's one of those things. I don't remember how we met. We just know each other. I know his wife Melanie too. Like, so we're in like some of the same circles, and we've just known each other, I feel like, for a long time. And I can't remember how we met, but I have such an endearing place in my heart for Terry and Melanie. Like, they're just great souls, great people.
Yeah.
So
I knew about your music before, but in one of my conversations with Terry, because we do talk occasionally.
Yeah.
Terry, you got to have Rebecca Jade on your show. I said, I'd love to. Yeah.
That's awesome. I appreciate the shout out from him to you, and thank you again for having me on the show. I'm really grateful.
Oh, my pleasure. Let's talk about your next song, Insane. When I think of Insane, I think of the song Crazy, which I love, and I think about Billy Joel's song, I Might Be Insane.
Okay. Yes.
So tell me about your Insane. How did that come about?
Okay, so this song is interesting in the sense that I don't even know how it came about. I remember, only thing I do remember is that when I first wrote it, I think the first 3 lines, it was more of like a ballad. I'm kind of a sucker for ballads and like love songs. I really am. Like the whole record of Shade of Jade is like 95% love songs, very much so. And it just wasn't working. Like the initial version I had, it was like, I was like trying to force it. It just wasn't working. I was like, okay, let me see if I can revisit this. And so then I gave it more of like a little bit more of an energy, a little bit more like a funk kind of soul vibe to it. And it started shaping. It's shaping, coming together nicely. And then I somehow transitioned. I was like, okay, what if this part totally changes like vibe? Like it's a totally different switch in genres. Like I wanted it to pivot, like, the song, I just had this idea of like insane and like crazy and like just love kind of makes you kind of do crazy things and you just feel, so the purpose of this song as it was evolving was like, okay, I want the song to reflect like that craziness that you can feel like when your heart is breaking, but you're longing for something, or I don't know. And so, there's other songs that are out there. Like, I know like Blood, Sweat and Tears had a really cool rendition of God Bless a Child where it like changes, it changes, it goes from like kind of a slow ballad and then it kind of like picks up and then it goes back to the slow. And, I wanted to find something like that, but mine kind of does 3 completely different switches. And so I really love this song. I know it's a little out there, so some people might not like it, but I don't care. I really love it.
You just reminded me. One of the guys, I have to check him out. David Clayton Thomas from Blood, Sweat and Tears.
Yeah.
I'd like to have him on the show too.
Yeah, there you go. You could let him know you know a singer who kind of referenced their song.
That's what I'm going to tell him.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear Insane by Rebecca Jade, okay?
I hope you like it.
Memories racking my head while I lay restlessly up in my bed, thinking of all of the words that you said to me. The urge to to be with you envelops my stain. Your mark in my history left such a stain. I lose all control at the sound of your name. Even though you've been gone, you never left. Even though time has moved on, you take my breath away. In my mind, you're by my side, but my world is not the same. No, no, you got me going insane. Gets me spinning and feeling so high. I crash and burn every time you say goodbye. Don't know how much more I can take of this ride. Oh, no, no. With yesterday gone and tomorrow unknown. Oh, yeah. Stuck in the middle of time, warp and stone. My heart came complete with the mind of its own. Even though you've been gone, you never left. Even though time has moved on, you take my breath away. In my mind, you're by my side, but my world is not the same. No, 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 no. You got me going insane. Nothing feels right without you by my side. Nothing's the same, only you burn my flame. Time only sees what will be of you and me. Love is to blame, why I'm going insane. Nothing feels right, nothing feels right you by my side. No, no, I don't know what's real. Your love is taking the wheel. Your love is taking the wheel. What will be of you and me? What will be? This game, you got me going insane. You got me going insane. Got me going insane. Losing my mind because of you, baby. Oh, love is to blame. Got me going insane. Nothing feels right. Nothing feels right. No, no. Don't know what's real. Yeah. Baby, you got me going insane.
Love it. I've listened to that so many times already. I love it.
Have you? Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, it's got such a great vibe.
Thank you. I really
lo-
love that song. I
I
love how
love
it
the
came out.
I love the breaks,
Yeah. Thank you so much.
and it changes the tempo.
Yeah.
It's really a well constructed song.
Thank you so much. That means a
Yeah,
lot.
it's
Thank
terrific.
you.
So let's talk a little bit about your acting career.
Yes. I am a
What is it?
thespian.
Why don't you tell us about how that started and how you got into that?
Sure. Gosh, I think I've always been involved in like the theater and the arts. Even as a young kid, I was in like youth theater. I was in church plays at like 8 and 9 years old. 9, 8, 9, 10, 11, I think. I think there's still a part of me that wants to do acting, more seriously. And And it's a good problem to have. I'm keeping busy with music, so that's a good thing. But I love acting. I love the arts. I was able to do actually a theater production in here in San Diego. There's a theater house called Lamb's Players Theater, and they brought me in to do a show. I ran a show with them called RESPECT, which was, we had homage to like female singer songwriters from the 60s. So that was cool, but it was mostly music. I didn't do too much talking, too many lines, so. But I love acting. I love theater. I've done some like commercial things or industrial work, where, for like Qualcomm or like SDG&E. I've done a couple of those here and there, but I would love to do more of that as well.
Have you ever thought about trying to hook up and do some Broadway musical?
Yeah, I would be open to that possibility. Absolutely. Or some form or fashion. Yeah.
Terrific. Look, we're getting pressed for time, unfortunately, so I want to move on to another song for everybody.
Okay.
So I want to play Show Me, and then maybe afterwards you can come back and tell us a little bit about it. Okay?
You got it.
This is Rebecca Jade, Show Me.
Even when you're next to me, you're so far away. I wanna give you the best of me, but I can't make you stay. Head is spinning, dizzy with infatuation. Pulse is beating, guess my heart has won. Yay! Keep my distance, hoping time will cure this heartache. But I can't get you out my mind. My love is yours to take. Heart is broken once again from catching feelings. Wanna let you go, but the damage has been done. Baby, can you tell me what can I do to show you my love? And if you're not the one for me, show me how to let my heart go. Show me how to let my heart go. Show me how to move on from these feelings, baby. Is it so wrong to want you in my life? Nothing moves me like you do. No one else compares to you. I just wish you would feel the same way too. Loving you can be so right if you let me. Wanna be right by your side. Your love can set me free. Captivated by the thought of loving you completely. Let me be the one, baby, don't take my heart and run. Baby, can you tell me what can I do to show you my love? And if you're not the one for me, show me how to let my heart go. Show me how to let my heart go. Show me how to move on from these feelings, baby. Is it so wrong to want you in my life? Nothing moves me like you do. Nothing can compare to you. I just wish you would feel the same way too. Ooh, yeah. Waiting for a love that could be true. Anticipating everything you say
Yeah, another great song. Here's another comment. You showed me great lyrics. Here's
Thank
another
you.
comment. Love it. Love the breaks, tempo, and the force of your voice.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, so you're getting a lot. Yeah, a lot of listeners calling. We have over 140,000 people.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
Tonight. See,
Yeah.
I can't put up all the comments, but you have dozens of comments here.
Oh, that's great. Wow. Thank you so much.
So look, we're running down on time, but there's a few questions I just want to get to with you.
Sure.
There's one thing that you know now that you wish you knew when you started your career. What would that be?
Be patient with yourself and know that this is a marathon and not a sprint. I know it's very cliche, but it's so true. I don't think I knew what I was getting into when I did this, when I started getting into music. So I would say just be patient, and just stay the course, and just set better goals, like be clearer on your goals. I think I learned that a little later in life too, kind of. I remember when I finally decided, I was like, I want to do my record like that. Like that was a finite goal, it was a specific goal. I think maybe just instead of being broad, like, oh, I just want to do music, that I was able to get into it, but I maybe would have been more specific and would have been able to like tour sooner. And, if I had a little bit more of a goal, I think. But also, I think I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for the journey that I took, to get here. So it's kind of, I don't want to shoot myself too much in the foot on that. So yeah, but I would say be patient. I'd be patient with myself at the end of the day. I think that enjoy the journey.
You've been at this for a couple of decades at least.
Yeah.
So where do you see your music evolving to 5 years from now? Do you have any thoughts about what you might be doing down the road? Or, like, for example, I'll just give you an example. Eric Clapton was played last year with Wynton Marsalis. He played jazz at Lincoln Center, and he kind of came out of the closet and admitted he's been a jazz fanatic his whole life. And now in his twilight years, he's playing jazz.
Wow.
So do you see your music evolving in any way as you go forward?
I do. I'm not sure exactly how, because I'm hoping sooner than later. Actually, my goal for my next record is to be a little bit more of because these songs are a bit more, and I love them. Trust me, I'm so proud of this record. And I just see this next go around of original songs to be more of like I neglected to mention a big fan that I am of Chaka Khan. And
Wow.
So I'm hoping to do something that's a little bit more like kind of funk, upbeat, dancey, sort of, a little bit like Rufus vibes, That's what I'm kind of hoping for, but that would be sooner than 5 years. So,
all the songs I played tonight, it's inescapable. There's a jazz influence in all of them. So if you want to, there's a lot of jazz funk. So moving towards Chaka and Rufus is, should come fairly naturally for you.
Yeah, I'm a big fan, and I love that kind of, stuff to get people on their feet. This album is a little bit more intentional and hoping to be a little bit more thought-provoking with the lyrics, and like, it's just they were crafted much more on purpose. So I'm not sure what the next one's going to be. I don't know. I'm hoping I can still have thought-provoking lyrics in something that's a little bit more upbeat and energetic. But it doesn't have to be. It can be something that's just fun and gets people dancing, Frankie Beverly Mays vibe, stuff that people can just kind of groove to. Is what I'm hoping to do for the next record. But that's
Wonderful.
In 5 years, that's a good question. I'm thinking I'd like to be actually playing more confidently on bass. I do like a song here and there in my shows, but I'd like to be doing like my original stuff. Maybe I can be doing something a little bit more instrumental. I could see that in 5 years if I really dig in, on the bass and get more comfortable that way. I think that's a goal of mine to achieve at some point.
I've had on the show, I had mentioned Sheryl Crow, great guitarist and songwriter and vocalist.
Yeah.
So it's doable. I'm sure you can pull it off. I have another question now. On your bucket list, if you could pick any venue anywhere in the world where you'd love to perform, where would that be?
Oh, that's a good question. You know, another artist, Tina Turner, and that I'm a huge fan of Tina, energy wise, music, and she played. I hope I'm not saying it wrong. I think there's a live footage of a show she did at, excuse me, at I'm going to say it wrong. Is it Wimbledon or
Wimbledon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
That's in the UK.
if I could do something epic like that, I feel like I'm winning in life. You know what I mean? So, that footage, it has video, and the people look like a sea. They look like an ocean of just heads, and they're singing her songs. And like, I use that as a visual of a place that I would love to play one day.
You know,
And people singing my songs with me, like singing.
When you mention that, what comes to my mind right away is Queen.
Yes.
They played at Wembley Stadium, and they had 100,000 people. I wonder what it's like to have 100,000 people singing your song.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
It must be just mind blowing. Yeah.
There's got to be an amazing feeling, and I can imagine, because I have people do that at my shows, where there's, you know, at my show at like there's a great club here in Southern California called Spaghettini.
Spaghettini,
And
well.
oh yeah, so you know, and they've expanded now, so I think it seats like 120, I think, and if I get to sell out that room, you know, and people are singing my songs, and they come up to me afterward and say, "Oh my God, thank you for playing Show Me and singing, you know, Bottle Up Magic, like that's my jam, and I sang every song, every lyric with you." Like that is such a fulfilling feeling, you know. And so I can imagine that times, you know, times 20,000.
Must be amazing. Well,
Yeah.
Well, look, I think it's going to be done. So let's play. What's it going to be?
Yay! That's a good way to end it.
A good segue. So why don't you tell us a little bit about this last song we'll play this evening?
Sure.
What's it going to be?
So this is okay. So couple things. This is one of the only songs on the record that's not a love song, not like a traditional love song. This is also one of the only songs that Carnell Harrell did not produce. I actually wrote this song. This was one of the first ones I did, that I wrote the lyrics and before kind of delving into writing a record, you know, even though I had lyrics and stuff for some of these other songs, but like this was like the first intentional song that I was like, oh, I want to put this on a record, whatever that record is. I want this song to be on it. And the track was produced by a great bass player from LA. He lives in Vegas now, but his name is Tim Bailey. And we met also on the Dave Koz cruise. And like, so we just, that band that was brought together to be part of the cruise, we just had an incredible, almost instant chemistry. And so I was like, as soon as we finished the cruise, I was like, you guys, we should do a record. Let's like, you know, we were all gung ho. And Tim sent me this track and I wrote to it. And so, and this is my encouragement song on the record. This is a song that, like, if anybody's going through tough times, like, this song is to just challenge you to, like, you know, stay the course and like rock your crown, you know, like we have the power within ourselves to like get through whatever might, you know, be coming our way, any negativity and stuff like that. So this is my song. And I'll tell you a quick story if that's okay. I know we're really short on time, but I sang the song at my spiritual center in San Diego before I even like kind of recorded it. And so we were kind of in the process of recording it. But it's like a positivity thing. And so she came up to me after service, tears running down her face. And she said, no, I did the song. And then like 2 or 3 weeks later, she came up to me. She said, hey, remember when you sang your original song? She had tears running down her face. She said, I want you to know that your song inspired me to get through like a really tough time. I was being like kind of like in a really bad situation at work. I wanted to quit. I was like, and it wasn't my fault. I was just in a bad place. And they, you know, I had a coworker that was just really doing evil things to me. She said, I took your words. I really internalized them and I stood up for myself. I was able to get through the situation. The person was fired and all that stuff. And I was able to retain my, you know, my dignity and all that stuff. And like I had upper management, like really listen to me. And she said, thank you. Like, and so like that's the power of music in that short story of how somebody was so moved. And I'm so grateful and honored that I was able to have that message at that time for that person. So I hope if anybody's dealing with something, that this song can encourage you to do the same and just stay the course and get through whatever tough thing you're going through.
What I've found listening to your music tonight, your music has two things. It has a message and it's very personal at the same time. And so, it's interesting. Now when I'll go back and listen to more of your songs, and I'll have a different perspective on it. So I'm glad you spent time with me, time with our audience tonight. So let's hear the last song of the evening by Rebecca Jade. What's it going to be? Okay.
Recognize your power when all the world seems to be bringing you down. You want to hide behind the comforts of a lie to ease the pain of not believing you deserve the crown. Don't let no one take away your place in the sun. Or
Fabulous.
Thank
Fabulous.
you.
One of the things that I really like is, a lot of times I listen to music and the artist's voice doesn't stand on top of the music, and yours does all the time. And here's a comment from Terrence Mosby that when he wrote this, it just reminded me, your voice soars above a well-constructed arrangement. We need more music like this today. Old school rocks.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Terrence.
Yeah. So people really get you. You've had probably about 40 comments tonight. I've been able to put up some of them, but
awesome.
A lot of people really are enjoying your music and love what you're doing.
I appreciate that. I really do.
I want to thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show tonight. Before we close out, why don't you tell everybody how they can buy your music, how they can join your social networks, get to know more about you.
Yes. Okay. So my website's easy. It's my name, RebeccaJade.com. I have my calendar up there, and my social media, I try to keep it as easy as possible. All of it is at Lady Rebecca Jade. So I'm mostly on Instagram and Facebook. I have an ask from all of you, if you don't mind. Follow me on YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I'm really, really close to without getting into it, there's a level that you get with watch hours and stuff. I have enough people that subscribe, but I'm really close to reaching, I need 3,000 hours. I'm at 2,900 and something. So if anybody is willing to just get on my channel, and actually have a video on there that's called Rebecca Jade Through the Years, and it's got 5 or 6 of my music videos all stitched together, and it'll run for 26 minutes, and you can see Bottle Up Magic is on there and some of my other ones. So that's my ask of all of you. If you don't mind, it would be really helpful to me. And then you can get a sense of my music videos, and I'm actually planning to record another music video next week, so I'm really excited about that. But yeah, that's the best way to keep in touch. I'm pretty active on the socials, and if you want to, you could subscribe to my newsletter. You can just go do that through my website as well. There's a contact place, and you can just say, hey, add me to your email blast, and I can send you updates and let you know what I have coming up, and hopefully I'll be in everyone's neighborhood. Matter of fact, I'll be with Dave Koz for Christmas. I know we're coming through, I think, Bethesda, Maryland in November, December. So, yeah, I believe so. I don't quote me on that, but I think so. I mean, we've done it the last 3 years, so we've gone.
I'm in DC, so if you're going to be there, let me know, and I'll come out and see you, and I'll write a review for City Paper. That
would be amazing. Yeah. So
nice to meet you in person too.
That would be wonderful. Yeah. So I'll be definitely in the East Coast, and for Christmas. So hopefully some of the listeners, if you all check out DaveKoz.com and see when we're coming through what cities we're coming through for Christmas.
Wonderful. Well, Rebecca, if you have a few minutes to hang around after the show, we can chat for a minute. But I want to thank you so much for being on the show and taking your time and sharing your wonderful music with everybody.
I'm so honored to be on here, Mel. Thank you so much. Thank you to all the listeners and all the kind comments, and I'm very, very grateful.
Wonderful. We'll have you back again. So you take care of yourself, okay?
You too. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Bye-bye. Well, that was wonderful. That was Rebecca Jade, who's just, a spectacular vocalist. I can't say enough nice things about her. Next week, we're going to have another great artist. We're going to have Kim Scott. Kim right now is charting in the top 3 or 4 with her new hit song, Like Butter. She's a wonderful flautist and just a terrific musician. So everybody come back next week for another edition of the Power Hour, and I'll be there. I'll be here with you, and everybody have a great night. I'm Mel Albin. I'm the host. I'm the founder of the Jazz Confusion Power Hour.
My name is Dave Koz, and I'm honored to share my passion of music with you, our listening audience, through my cultural heritage.
Things can change for you too. If you want to be brand new, that is absolutely possible.